Alright, this is just kind of a quick walkthrough of what the end result would be if you manage to grab that file and print it out. And this is all kind of inspired by Micronauts and those kind of modular toys that you could mix and match and come up with parts and your own designs. So first off, we had the this wheelbase, and this was not necessarily originally part of the project. I just kind of added it and as an after fact, and it comes in when it prints. You get two wheels and it prints like that. You will have to super glue them. I suppose I could have done a print in place, but this is what we got for now. And you got the wheelbase. This was one of the original test prints, or one of the first prints that I had. Just trying to come up with it and make sure everything worked okay. And these two parts, a little bit of super glue on that end. Hold it in place. And then it should give you something like this. Now I did a multicolor print. I just with 3 colors. I didn't go crazy. It would have been fun to do a lot more colors, but I wanted to limit the time that I was working with for the print, because it was just taking a long time to get all these parts worked out. So you get the file will come with 2 bases. It just has 1 wheel in it, but you can print out as many as you need. Copy and paste the STL or the 3D MF. And the key piece to the whole puzzle, this goofy as it is these little posts and little shafts that go in there like that, and you can combine them. So you can just print out as many of those connectors as you need, as many of the spheres as you might want to make whatever you want, and then connecting them is just a matter of, let's see what we got here. So this is, I'll kind of pick it off where I originally had started my base pieces. Got 2 of these things and a landing gear. And I had in mind this whole thing was, inspired by Micronauts and maybe Zoids, where you had the little guy, because I just know I used to love that as a kid. It was out of the whole toy, I just like that little cockpit canopy thing where the guy would sit in. And here's her command capsule. The guy fits in there. And you got a windshield. Now I was able to sort of get a windshield with some translucent PLA. I find the best results with that translucent PLA. Not too much of luck with translucent PETG. It's really kind of a struggle. I think I have an example of some attempt at, this is PETG, and it's kind of sucky for the translucency. Just a bit. It will let some light through if I put a light behind there, but not to get too far off task. Come on. It will show through, but these are much more translucent. Getting to the point of being transparent, but not, of course, not quite there. Would be cool, or a good idea to try to get a transparent window with the resin printer. Maybe some other time. Alright, so let's just keep going right with what I had in mind. So all these pegs, all these holes and pegs should be universal. So everything should fit in everywhere. Orange cockpit canopy. You got the wings, and what would be really fun and cool is if I could find a spring-loaded shooter design where you have the button and it would shoot out the projectile. I've been kind of poking around to see if I could find a design that had that. I'm sure it shouldn't be too hard. Just like a little catch that would hold the spring back. When you push the button, it would fire it off. I just don't know if I feel like working that out on the printer and then having to print it 100 times to get my design to work. So this one was meant to be like a top fin, but I suppose you can use it anywhere and print as many of them as you need. One thing to note is that these wings, to get them to print nice, I split them in half, as you can see. And the post splits in half there, and they're like two separate wing pieces that you glue together. So you'll need some super glue or whatever you want to adhere them together with. And I've tried translucent green, really that translucent or green, clear and orange. I like that, really like that sort of translucent toy look, personally. And these landing gear pieces have several different ports. And that would be a basic construction. I'll try to come up with something else here with the wheels, or just implement them. It has that little base, of course, the port fits right in there. So what we can do here. Or these wheelbase, actually, I'll just continue like that. So you can set that up like that. And these connectors, these couplers, I really wanted to print those with some color in there. It was just taking too long, so I skipped out. I imagine if anybody wanted to, it would look pretty cool if you added some more detail to that. And a lot of these parts can be embellished further going forward for the version 2.0, I guess. So continuing on with the vehicle. And I did notice something strange. I'm just pointing it out here. A little off topic, I guess, but this was a different resin. It kind of conked out. I was using a PLA resin, a filament. I was using the Bamboo Lab, and the Bamboo Lab resin always seems, I'm not shilling for bamboo filament either, but it turned out perfect. I really didn't have to adjust it at all. And you can see at the where the transition happened, how that filament just was giving us this weird space at the corners, like it wasn't flowing enough through where it hit that corner. I don't know, maybe crank up the temperature, I could try. But anyway, continuing on. I was just messing with different colors at this point. I had everything I needed printed out, so I just started experimenting. But I figured I needed to get something out here. These little antennas for the radar dish fit in there. Just pop that off. These little jet pods, you can use them as is, and they got a little port on the back. So you can come up with your goofy rover. Alright, cool. So that is a quick rundown of the pieces and parts in that print file. You can grab that on Patreon if you wanted to. Take a peek at it and give it a try for yourself. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll be making more. Thanks for stopping by.